Hello, today we are going to begin with our book of prose and poetry, Flamingo. And of course, we begin with chapter number 1, The Last Lesson by Alphonse Daudet, a French writer, and the story that he has given to us is also a story which is based in France, and it is related to the French language, the language of the people of France, and how important the mother tongue, a person's language of birth, should be in his life. And it is also a lesson which gives us many other ideas, as we would be doing in the theme of this chapter. So we begin with chapter number 1, The Last Lesson. The title of the chapter is always very important, and we would be discussing the title first. Of course, as we go ahead with the story, you would be able to understand why the author has given it the title of The Last Lesson. And a lesson, of course, means being taught. It is a teaching that a teacher gives to the student, a parent might give to a child, or any person who is elder to you might give to you from his experience. So this is what kind of last lesson we are talking about. First of all, the time in which this story takes place, this episode takes place, is important. It is the year 1870 to 1871, when the war between the French and the Prussian forces was taking place, and it is a war of accession, which means the side which wins takes over the territory, the land of the defeated side. And here in this war, the French forces have been defeated and the Prussian forces have taken over a number of districts of France, and particularly the place where this story takes place is the Alsace village. It is the Alsace district basically. Let me just spell it again. It is Alsace, and the territory of Lorraine. So these are two districts of France which have been taken over by the Prussian forces. Now, Prussian forces, you must understand, are basically forces of Germany. So they are predominantly German forces with parts of Poland. So earlier it was together, these areas were together, but now at that time they were called Prussia. But now you can understand that we are talking about the German territory which is predominant in this chapter, and hence the language, German language, also comes here. We would be talking about the German language, how it features here, but here we are talking about Prussian forces, which at that time, which means in 1870 and 1871, were German, Poland, and parts of Austria. If you want to remember this, it is fine. If you don't, at least keep in mind that these are certain things. This word Prussian, it is something very important and you must remember. Alsace is very important because this is the place where this whole thing takes place, and the war between French and Prussian army is going on, and mostly the French forces have been defeated and many districts have been taken over, and the newest district which the Prussian forces, the German forces take over is the district of Alsace. And if we carry on, how this chapter goes ahead is that we have a narrator. Who is a narrator basically? A narrator is the person who is telling the story. So here in this chapter, the narrator is a first person narrator, which means that the character itself is talking to the reader and not the author. So the story is a first person narration, which means one character is telling the story to us, to the reader, and it is not the author who is speaking. Of course the author has written, but he is speaking through the mouth of one character, and this first person narrator is Franz. His name is Franz. Franz is a boy who studies in the school of Alsace, run by the teacher whose name is M. Hamel. So these are a few names that you will have to remember. These two are the main characters, as you can say, of this story. Our boy narrator, whose name is Franz, and the teacher in whose school this boy studies, and his name is M. Hamel. So what happens? The story begins. The story begins now, and how it goes on is that Franz says that Franz is late for school one day, as usual, because he is mostly late, and he is afraid of the scolding that he would get from his teacher M. Hamel. And you must understand, it is a village school, it is a school which is run by one person, so that one person teaches all the classes and all the subjects, and the name of that person is M. Hamel, and he is a very strict teacher, and he keeps an iron ruler under his arm. That is why the children are very afraid of him, and so Franz is also very afraid that now he would be scolded by the teacher for being late. And not only that, he has not learnt by heart the rules of participle that he was supposed to learn, and that is why he knows that the teacher is going to be very, very angry with him. And what does Franz think? Franz, for a moment, thinks of running away from school. So he thinks that, instead of going to school, let me spend some time outdoors. The weather is so good, the birds are singing, and there are flowers everywhere. Why don't I spend the time outdoors instead of going to school and getting a scolding or presumably a beating from the teacher? But he thinks otherwise, and as he is running, he sees people who have gathered outside the town hall. People have gathered outside the town hall and are reading from the bulletin board. There is a bulletin board outside, and there is some kind of notice which has been put up at the bulletin board. So he thinks that this must be some news of war. So the author keeps telling us that there is some war going on in the background, and he thinks, Franz thinks that okay, maybe they are reading something from the war, and so he just runs off. And when he reaches school, he is met with an unusual sight. And what is it? Why is the sight called unusual? Because there is silence everywhere. There is no noise from the children, because you can imagine it is a school full of tiny children, and everybody must be talking, and everybody must be taking out their books, this, that. So usually there is a lot of noise, but today there is silence everywhere. There is no noise from the children, and the ruler of the teacher is also not heard. So it is so strange. Franz for one moment thinks that, have I come on some Sunday? Is it a holiday? What is wrong? Why is there such silence? And then as he enters the classroom, it is filled with children. The teacher is also standing there. He is ashamed. Why is he ashamed? Because he is late. He is ashamed because he is late, and he thinks that he would be punished. But the teacher softly and very nicely, today the teacher hasn't scolded him, softly asks him to be seated. So everything is so unusual. There is complete silence. The children are quietly sitting on their benches, and the teacher has not scolded him. And then an important announcement takes place by the teacher, and it is that this day is going to be the last lesson by him, and it comes as a huge shock for Franz, because he didn't know anything about this. In fact, he comes to know that bulletin which was stuck on the notice board. What did it say? That the Prussian forces had taken over. The Prussian forces had taken over the district of Alsace, and now German language would be taught in the school and not French. So it is so difficult for this boy to understand that because of war, because of something that is not related to this boy, he will not be taught his own language, French, but a new language which will be the language of the forces that had taken over his town. So now German language would be taught in the school and not French. So M. Hamel was going away, and hence it was his last lesson that day, and that is why the children were so quiet. And this is the reason Franz notices that Hamel is dressed in his best Sunday clothes. So he also notices that my teacher is dressed in such a nice coat that he usually wears in some school function or on Sunday when he is going to church. So now Franz understands why, because this day is going to be his last lesson. And now even we as a reader understand why the title of this chapter is The Last Lesson. And he also notices that the village elders were sitting at the back of the class. They had come. Why had the elders of the village come to attend school today? They had come to honor the man who had spent 40 years of his life 40 years of his life in the school. So it is a very, very poignant moment. It is a sad moment when the villagers also understand that M. Hamel is going to go away, and they have come to honor this man because he has spent 40 years of his life in school, and he has made this school, he has taught the children, and he has actually put his whole life because of it. And Franz is shocked. He is thinking so many things right now, because so many questions, so many moments, so many memories are going through in his mind, and he is absolutely shocked. He says the news is like a thunderclap. It is like lightning bolt that has struck his mind, and while he is thinking, he realizes that this last lesson in his own language will prove to be very embarrassing. Why? Because he doesn't know how to read and write French properly until now. So what is the most embarrassing, the most shameful thing for Franz is that today is going to be my last lesson, and I don't even know how to read or how to write my own mother tongue properly. Because what is the reason? As we know, he has already said he doesn't like to study. He would rather go away and he would rather spend time outdoors, and he doesn't know anything now, and he wishes that he had paid more attention in the class. And suddenly his name is announced, and the teacher asks him to recite the rule of the participle. So this is the homework which he had not done, and again Franz fails to do so because he has not learnt anything, he has not done his homework, and he is extremely ashamed. He says, oh, I could give anything to recite that rule of the participle properly, but alas, he is ashamed because he fails, he is not able to do so, he has not done his homework, and now it is too late because he will never get a chance of doing this homework again. The teacher doesn't scold him. Why doesn't the teacher scold him? Because he has some words of wisdom to give out today. And what are these words of wisdom? He talks of postponing things. He says it is the fault of everybody that the children have not learnt anything, or they have learnt little, and just like Franz, the other children also know a little. He says it is the fault of the children, the teacher, as well as the parents. So everybody is at fault, and that is why the children have not gained much. They have not been able to gain their mother tongue up till now. And what is the reason? That children are at fault because they would rather go out and play instead of studying. The teacher, he says, I am also at fault because I would rather have a day off. If I want to go fishing, I would give you a holiday, okay, go home, and I would rather make you okay, go water my plants, and says I should have put in more effort to teach you, but I failed. And the parents fail because they did not encourage their children to study. So he says all three of us have failed: the children, the teacher, and the parents. And he also says that French language is the best, the most logical language in the world. And then he says some beautiful things about the French language, and he also says that do not give up your mother tongue. He says this language is our mother tongue, and even actually this could be a lesson to anybody, not French but any language. He says we should not give up our mother tongue because it is the key to our prison. He says that if we keep our mother tongue, if we learn our mother tongue, we save our identity. Nobody can take away our mother tongue from us. It is the key to our prison. So he says even if the German forces have taken over, they cannot take your language away. Do not let them take your language away. This is the most important lesson, the last lesson that the teacher wants to give to his students. And thereafter he gives another lesson, some parts of grammar and some history. And then Franz says that today he has understood everything. He says, why has he understood this today? Because he is paying attention. He had never paid such attention to what his teacher said. And also the teacher taught very patiently. So today even the teacher is teaching so patiently. He is not scolding, he is not angry. And these two reasons, because of these two reasons, he has understood everything, and he wishes that he had paid more attention in class instead of his mind going outside. After that, he notices that while the children are doing some work, while they are writing, that the teacher is sitting motionless, gazing at everything. It is as if he is looking for the last time at things. He is looking for the last time at all the things that he has built with his own hands, and things he will never be able to see again, because he's going away. And this school, these children, these benches, these walls, he would never be able to see again. For 40 years he has been here, and now he is going away because it is his last lesson. And from the room above, the sound of bags and suitcases being moved is heard. The sister of Hamel is packing. Why is she packing? Because they are going to go away, and they will never return. Most probably they are never going to return. And then in the background, as the chapter finishes, in the background, the trumpets of the Prussian forces is heard. So the trumpet is heard, the war has come to their village, the war has affected their village, and they are trying not only to take over the land but also to take away the identity. War not only takes away the land, not only the territory, but also the identity of the people. And how is this identity taken away? By taking away their mother tongue. So because they will not be able to speak their mother tongue, it is not going to be taught in their own country, they are going to lose their identity. This is very important, and in the end the teacher writes on the board Vive la France, which means long live France, and he then asks his school to be dismissed. This is his last lesson to his teacher. Love your country and love your mother tongue, only then you will be called true Frenchmen. This is his last lesson to his students and also to the villagers. So this is the story, this is the chapter that we have done. I hope you have understood the chapter, and we are going to do something very important now, and it is the notes. The notes which will contain the background, theme, the characters and other important events, and we begin with the background. We have discussed a few points, and a few points would be new, especially the theme, etc. So please pay attention. The Franco-Prussian War is going on. The time is 1870 to 1871. The French have faced defeat, and now the Prussian forces have taken over the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine. But the name of Alsace you will have to remember, along with the fact that Prussia was Germany, Poland and other countries. The Germans declared that French would not be taught in the schools of these districts anymore. Instead, German language would take over. So this is important. German language would be taught. And what are the characters? The two important characters, M. Hamel. This is the first character we would discuss. These points are going to be very important in the question. The long question, especially the question of character of M. Hamel is important. He is a teacher in the school of Alsace with 40 years of faithful service. He is a strict man because he punishes with an iron ruler that he keeps under his arm. Children are naturally are frightened of him. They are afraid of him. At this point in the story, it is the last lesson of M. Hamel in school, and we know why it is the last lesson. He is wearing his fine Sunday clothes in honor of his last lesson, and this quote will give us a good idea. Franz says, "Our teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt and the little black silk cap, all embroidered, that he never wore except on inspection and prize days." The children, including Franz, the boy narrator of the story, as well as other villagers, have gathered to be a part of this last class and pay tribute. They want to pay respect to their teacher. They are not afraid of him now but feel sad. Why do they feel sad? Because it is his last lesson. He is going away, especially to see the sorrowful state of the teacher at having to leave the place. He is going away. In the story, his explanations of his subject to the students are easy. Today he is explaining so nicely. But Franz, the boy narrator of the story, has never paid any attention to studies. Earlier, he never used to pay any attention. That is why he doesn't know much. M. Hamel does not scold Franz today, even though he makes a mistake. Hamel comments on man's nature to postpone things, thinking that there is plenty of time. Man tries to postpone, and we think there is so much time, but we never know when time is going to be up. He feels sad at the irony that they are all Frenchmen, but they are neither able to read nor write their own language. They can neither read nor write their language. His love for the French language reflects his love for his country, and he considers it the key to the country's freedom. He means that if we know our language, we will always belong to our country. If I know my language, I will belong to my country. Otherwise, the country will never be mine. Then, this is a quote which M. Hamel says, then from one thing to another, M. Hamel went on to talk of French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it amongst us and never forget it, because when a people are enslaved, when somebody takes over our country, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. So this thing is so important. And then he says, Vive la France, which means long live France. His words to his pupils and the people of the village reflect his emotional attachment to his country. These words are particularly symbolic of his parting message. He is going away and he is giving the last message to his young students who would be the next torch bearers of freedom. So these students are the future of the country, and he wants to give a very, very important lesson where he asks them to love their country, France. And the last point in his character, he is depicted by the writer as an ideal teacher. He is the best teacher because he has dedicated himself to the education of the people of Alsace. After all, he has built this school, and for 40 years he has been teaching people. He was involved in laying the foundation of the school, and in time he had seen the growth of the school in front of his eyes. His love for his language and also his country, which he tries to instill in the village folk, is also noteworthy. So he has laid the foundations of the school, he has seen his school grow. That is why he is the ideal teacher. And now we come to the next character, is the character of Franz. Franz is the first person narrator of the story. I have already explained this to you. He is a resident of the French village of Alsace, which has been taken over by the German forces, and now the order has been put up that French language would no longer be taught in the schools. Franz was unaware of this development. He never knew that this had happened. He is late for school as usual, and as usual he has not prepared the lesson that his teacher M. Hamel had given the previous day. So he has not done his homework and he is late. He is scared because he is expecting a certain punishment at the hands of the strict teacher. He notices that the school is unusually quiet and there is no sound of desks or reciting of lessons or rapping of the ruler by the teacher. On his entry to class, he realizes that the scene is quite solemn and silent. The students as well as the village folk had taken seat on the benches, and this news that he gets is like a thunderclap for him. I have already told you he is very shocked on hearing the news. And about Franz, we must also know that he was never an attentive or an intelligent student. We must write this in his character. Instead of learning his lessons, he had let his attention divert to birds' eggs and playing. Now he felt sorry, but it is too late because today is going to be the last lesson. His bag full of books had always felt like a burden to him, but today all his books appeared to be his friends because he realizes now he would not get a chance to learn them again. He is distressed because time has flown from his hand. It has gone away from his hand and it will never come back. His name is called out by the teacher to recite the rule of participle. This you must remember, but he goofs up, he is not able to do so, and he feels that at that moment he could have given anything in order to make the perfect recitation, but it was not to be because he had not done his homework. He notices his teacher gazing about the room as if trying to put the details in his memory one last time. M. Hamel's sister could be heard packing the trunks in the room above because they were leaving the country next day, and Franz feels so sad to look at his teacher. He experiences the love for his teacher and at this moment feels sympathy for him. He is full of sadness. So Franz is a nice boy who loves his teacher and also loves his studies, but he was so careless. He had never studied attentively before. So this is the character of Franz that we finished, and the theme, very important, the first theme, drawbacks of postponing learning. This lesson tells us something that is so important in our life, that never postpone anything, especially learning, because the chance may never come again. The attitude of the parents and the students in the village is that of postponement. They have never paid attention to their books and the learning of their language until it is too late and the opportunity slips from their hand. The parents are to blame. They are the first persons to be blamed because they prefer to put their kids to work on the farm or in the mills to earn some extra money. So instead of encouraging them to go to school, they would let them go to earn money. The teacher is also to blame because he too had neglected the kids' learning at times, sending them on errands instead. So sometimes even the teacher had proved to be a little lackadaisical in his behavior. Okay, go do this for me, instead of letting the children study. The second theme, very important, is the value of the mother tongue. The teacher M. Hamel tries to instill love for their mother tongue among the people of Alsace by giving a very important lesson to them. He says that people can find a key to their freedom. I am repeating this because it is a very important theme. They can find a key to their freedom in the love for their mother tongue. He says we must guard it and never forget it. This is the most important theme. Of course, this is the last lesson of our teacher and it is the most important theme of the story and also symbolizes its title, because this is the last lesson of the teacher to his students. And the last theme, the third theme of this story, cruelty of war. War is in the background. We don't see war very closely in this story, but everything which is happening is because of the war. So cruelty of war, which makes people arrogant, insensitive and inhumane. Why? Because the enemy not only takes away the land but also the identity of the people. The author depicts the way not only a territory but also the dignity of the people is usurped in war, is taken away. Usurped means taken away, snatched. The winning side of Prussia uses the weapon of language education to take away even the identity of the French people by banning the study of their own mother tongue, French, in their schools. So how war has made people inhumane, insensitive. How can you take away the mother tongue of somebody? But the forces of Prussia, the administrators of Prussia try to do so because they want to make their victory complete. So in this chapter, I have not only recited the whole story to you, but I have discussed the background, the two very important characters about whom the question could definitely be there, and the theme of every story is extremely important. So I hope you would be able to attempt short questions as well as the long questions from this lesson, and let us meet you for lesson number 2.